So, is AI coming for your job as a technical writer, or is it about to become the most powerful tool you've ever had? In this explainer, we're going to cut through all the hype and give you a really clear blueprint for how to think about AI's role in our profession, starting right now.
Before we jump in, I want to give a huge shout out to writerstable.in for making this explainer possible. They're a fantastic resource for any technical writer, whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for years. This is all part of our series on AI and technical writing, so let's get into it. To really get a grip on where we're going, it helps to look back at where we've been. Think about it. Every major tech shift, from the plow to the tractor or from the typewriter to the computer, completely changed how work got done. But it didn't get rid of the farmer or the writer, right? It just evolved their tools and demanded new skills. Well, AI is just the next step in that evolution for us.
Okay, so where does AI actually fit into our modern toolbox? The absolute best way to think about it isn't as a replacement, but as a way to augment, to enhance our own abilities as writers.
And let's be crystal clear on this point because it's crucial. AI tools do not know your product. They don't know your users. They are unbelievably powerful pattern matching machines. They can generate language that sounds right, but they can't generate true understanding. Your judgment, your context, your expertise, that is still and will remain the most critical part of the job. What I find absolutely fascinating here is the massive leap in capability. We've been using simple forms of AI for decades. Think about your spell checker or grammar tools. But this shift to large language models, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, these tools can draft, they can rewrite, they can summarize. They're moving from just correcting our work to actually co-creating it with us. So let's take a look at how this whole augmentation idea actually applies across the entire documentation lifecycle, because its impact goes way beyond just writing a first draft. AI can really assist at every single stage. It can help you brainstorm outlines during planning, crank out a first draft, check for clarity while you're editing, suggest metadata for publishing. It can even help analyze the impact of changes during maintenance. But, and this is a big but, its effectiveness isn't the same everywhere. It really shines on those stable, pattern-based tasks where the risk is pretty low.
Let's make this super practical. Picture this. You've just been assigned a new API feature. You need to get up to speed fast before you even set foot in that first meeting with the engineers. This slide perfectly illustrates AI's true role. It is a fantastic assistant. You can ask it to summarize public standards, generate some really smart questions to ask your engineers, or even brainstorm a list of common edge cases you might forget. But notice that hard line on the right. It can never replace validation from your subject matter experts. It can't confirm how your specific product behaves. Think of it as your starting block, never the finish line.
Okay, so we know what AI can do. Now we need to get a balanced view to answer that big looming question. Is this tool ultimately a friend or a foe?
And to answer that question properly, we can't just focus on all the exciting possibilities. We've got to be brutally honest about the risks and the weaknesses too. That means we need to look at the whole picture in a really structured way. This SWOT analysis gives us that clear picture. So internally, you have the amazing strength of efficiency, but it's directly countered by the weakness of hallucinations, when AI just makes stuff up, and a total lack of context. Then externally, you have this incredible opportunity to evolve into a more strategic role, but that's shadowed by the very real threat of displacement for people who don't adapt. It's this balance that really defines our path forward.
So, given that reality, how do you position yourself to thrive in this new world? It's not about fighting the tools, it's all about mastering them.
This right here, this is the single most important mind shift you can make. Your value is no longer just about producing words on a page. It's about directing the systems that produce them. You become an AI content director, the person who designs the prompts, who sets the quality bar, and, most importantly, provides that critical human review. So what does being an AI content director actually look like day to day? Well, it means developing these 3 new skills. First, prompt engineering, getting really good at asking the right questions. Second, system thinking, seeing the entire content workflow, not just one document. And third, focusing on metrics that measure real user success, not just how many words you wrote. These are the skills that will make you indispensable. And you can start building these skills right now, today, with some really low-risk tasks. Ask an AI to rewrite a confusing paragraph. Use it to summarize a long, dense engineering doc. Have it generate 5 different heading options for a section you're working on. These are safe, high-impact ways to start learning the ropes. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground.
Let's pull it all together into a final, clear blueprint for how to think about and use AI.
So here is your final blueprint. 1. Think augmented writing, not automation. 2. Start evolving your role into that of an AI content director. 3. Remember that human oversight is your most critical function, period. 4. Focus on building those new skills, especially prompt engineering. And 5. Just start. Start small with low-risk tasks to build your momentum. This is your roadmap.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think of AI as this incredibly powerful telescope. It lets an astronomer see farther and process way more data than ever before. But it doesn't replace the astronomer. You are still the pilot, the scientist who interprets what all that data actually means.
And ultimately, it all comes down to the question on this slide. The tools are definitely evolving. The challenge for every single one of us is to make sure that we are too. If you found this explainer valuable, please consider sharing it with a colleague who might also be figuring all this out. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of our AI in Technical Writing series. And hey, don't let the learning stop here. Continue the conversation by checking out the great resources over at writerstable.in and come join the fantastic communities on the Learn Technical Writing subreddit and on Quora. We've put links to everything in the description below. Thanks so much for watching.